Well, hi there. If my voice sounds a little strange, it's because I have a cold, and I apologize for that. I'm medicated, but then again, I'm always medicated these days, but I'm taking even more medication to prevent a trip to the mothership. I feel well enough not to have to go to City of Hope. I don't have a fever, which is really great. That's the indicative denominator for a trip out that way, primarily, and coupled with the other way I feel. But so far, so good. Hopefully, it'll just be something that passes quickly. As long as that happens, it's interesting. I made a comment yesterday about what I wanted to talk about today, and that is that is. It sort of actually goes along with what I talked about yesterday, which was the Mitch fix-it phone calls. This time it was a Grampy fix-it issue. We were over, we spent Sunday first at our granddaughter's recital, Ryan and Stephanie's eldest daughter. It sounds strange saying that now that there's a second daughter, Isla. Her dance recital, which was a joy, a real gift to be able to share. So if you're out there and you're listening and you think that having to devote the time to go see a child or a grandchild at a game or a recital or anything like that, just recognize what a wonderful, wonderful gift it is to be able to do that. And think about how you'll feel or how you would feel if you were prevented for some reason from doing it. And then we saw our other two grandchildren and our daughter later on that afternoon. And my grandson managed to break his dinosaur. Now you can see this. This is a miniature screwdriver. And unfortunately, we had to go and take this bad boy into the hospital because I guess in an effort to see if a reptile really could grow another tail, Oliver decided to pull the tail off that dinosaur. Now, it may not seem like much, but this guy is pretty animated. I mean, all things taken into consideration. Where is it? Anyhow, you can imagine what he looked like without that tail hanging on the back there. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Sadie, Oliver's older sister, who turned around to her brother and say, "It's okay, don't get upset. Grampy can fix it." And we got the screwdriver, and for the next pretty much the next hour, I was completely lost. I was zoned out. I mean, I had forgotten how much I love tools. I had forgotten how much I love to fix things. I'd forgotten how curious I am about how things work and why they work and what can be done to make them work better. It was all just a wonderful release and relief from thinking about anything and everything. It was actually because my hands were involved and my senses were involved, it was even more powerful than writing because all of my senses were involved in it, much to the chagrin of everybody around me because it was at the exclusion of everything else. Nothing else in the world existed outside of that, which was pretty much the way it was when I was in the shop and I was working on cars or facing a difficult managerial or leadership issue in the shop, or for the industry for that matter. But there's something special about being able to work with your hands. There's something just really kinesthetically joyous about what that feels like and what that does for you, and what it did for me. So I got the dinosaur back together again, but I couldn't get it to work. So I had to bring it home to the dinosaur hospital and then perform surgery once again and literally had to take the damn thing all the way apart in order to repair it. But as you can see, we were successful, and I'm really excited. Hopefully I'll be better by Saturday, which is the goal, so that I can make sure that we can secure the dinosaur's release from the dinosaur hospital and return it to its rightful owner. So he can tear the tail off it again, I guess. I don't know. We had a long conversation about that, and the fact that if he was to do that again, if he were to pull the tail off, which wasn't easy, by the way, I got to tell you, it took real brute strength and perseverance to remove the tail from the dinosaur. He was on his own and he could get to fix it himself, which was okay, because when I was fixing it, when I sat down to fix it and I got lost in the repair, Oliver went and got his toolbox. He's got a toy toolbox, and brought it over and started handing me tools so that I could work on it. And unfortunately, at first I didn't realize how important it was that I allow him to do that. But then I realized how important it was, and then we worked on it together, which was also another great joy of the day. So if you have the opportunity to be with or do with or become involved with kids, grandkids, significant others, partners, friends, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. The time that we have is finite, and the time that we have with others is special. Certainly, again, something to think about. And I think that our lives begin to run poorly. Our lives begin to misfire when we lose track of things like that. Till tomorrow, stay well, take care.